Hi, I'm Adeline. For as long as I can remember, I've been the family's delicate flower due to my heart condition. Not that you'd know it from looking at me. I hide it well behind my quick smile and quicker wit. The portable heart monitor I wear is discreet enough that most people never notice, and I've always preferred it that way. No special treatment necessary. Adeline, you made it! My cousin Ellie rushed over as I stepped into Grandma Dorothy's sprawling backyard, already filled with the annual chaos of the Wilson family reunion. Wouldn't miss it for the world, I replied, accepting her enthusiastic hug. Where should I set up my stuff? Somewhere with an outlet nearby, if possible. Oh, of course, Marcus set up a special table for you near the patio. There's a power strip and everything. I raised an eyebrow. Marcus thought of that? My cousin Marcus? The same guy who forgot to tell me about last year's Christmas dinner? Ellie laughed, her blonde curls bouncing. I know, right? He's been super helpful today, even volunteered to organize the seating arrangements. Said he wanted to make amends for being, and I quote, a total jerk last year. Well, that's unexpected, I said, following her to the table. Sure enough, there was a reserved sign with my name and a power strip ready to go. Marcus sauntered over, his signature too-wide smile plastered across his face. Cousin Addie, you're looking good. His voice carried that artificial sweetness I'd grown to distrust. Thanks, Marcus. And thanks for the setup. That was thoughtful. Family's family, right? He leaned against the table. Hey, Grandma's been asking about the inheritance situation. Has she talked to you about it? And there it was. The real reason for his sudden helpfulness. Not recently, I said carefully. But that's not really appropriate conversation for a family reunion, is it? His smile tightened. Sure, just curious. Oh, you need to plug in your thingy, right? He gestured vaguely at my portable monitor case. My heart monitor? Yes, eventually. Battery should last a few hours, though. Cool. Well, I made sure you have power right here. Tested it myself. He patted the power strip before sauntering off. Emma, my best friend since childhood, who was practically family by now, appeared at my side with 2 lemonades. Was that Marcus being nice? Did I slip into an alternate dimension? Apparently, he's turning over a new leaf, I said, accepting the drink. Or more likely, he heard something about Grandma's will. Emma snorted. That tracks. So, how are you feeling today? For real? Honestly, better than I have in months. The new medication is working wonders. I patted my monitor bag. Still need to keep this close, but Dr. Winters says my readings have stabilized. That's fantastic! Emma clinked her glass against mine. To health and family, the ones we choose anyway. We circulated, catching up with relatives I hadn't seen since Christmas. Uncle Robert, my late father's brother and my favorite relative, pulled me aside after dinner. Something's off with Marcus, he murmured, his bushy eyebrows furrowed in concern. I overheard him arguing with Vivian about money troubles. Serious ones. That would explain the sudden interest in Grandma's will. I sighed. I wish he'd just... A sharp beeping cut me off. My monitor. I rushed to my table, but the screen was blank. That's weird, I muttered, checking the connections. It was fully charged before The world tilted suddenly. I felt my knees buckle as Emma's voice called out from what sounded like the end of a long tunnel. Adeline! Adeline! Someone call an ambulance! Then nothing but darkness. The doctor says you were lucky, Emma said, perched on the edge of my hospital bed. If you hadn't had your backup medication in your purse? I stared at the ceiling, processing everything. Someone tampered with my monitor. The battery was drained and the power strip wasn't actually connected to anything, just made to look like it was. Who would do something like that? Emma's voice cracked. I think we both know, I replied quietly. Emma leaned closer. Marcus? But why would he? Grandma Dorothy changed her will last month. I wasn't going to say anything, but she's leaving me her house, the one Marcus has been counting on getting. How do you know that? She told me when I drove her to her lawyer's appointment. Said she was tired of Marcus hovering and making plans for when she's gone. The house was supposed to be a surprise for him, but now... A knock interrupted us as Uncle Robert entered, his face grim. "How are you feeling, kiddo?" he asked, taking the chair beside the bed. "Like someone tried to kill me," I answered bluntly. Robert's expression hardened. "I've been asking around. 3 different people saw Marcus near your table when you were talking to Aunt Peggy, and Ellie says he was asking very specific questions about your condition earlier." "That doesn't prove anything," Emma cautioned. "No," I agreed. "But it's enough to start digging. Uncle Robert, did Marcus really have money troubles, or were you just being dramatic?" Robert ran a hand through his silver hair. "His business is failing. Vivian let it slip that he's been taking loans from some unsavory characters. He needs cash, and fast. And a house to sell would solve that problem," I concluded. Emma stood suddenly. "I'm going to get some coffee. This conversation is making me nervous." After she left, Robert leaned in. "There's more. I asked the venue for their security camera footage. Marcus definitely messed with your equipment. I can see him unplugging something." My heart raced. "You have proof?" "Not yet. They're sending me the files tomorrow. But Adeline..." His voice lowered. "Vivian knows something. She's been acting strange, defensive. I tried talking to her about the incident and she nearly bit my head off." "We need to talk to her," I decided. "Are you sure that's wise? She'll just warn Marcus." "That's exactly what I'm counting on. If he's panicked, he might make another mistake." The next day, against doctor's orders, I checked myself out. Emma drove me to Aunt Vivian's house with Uncle Robert following behind. Vivian's face paled when she opened the door. "Adeline, we heard you were still in the hospital." "Clearly," I replied coldly, noting how her eyes darted past me to the street. "Is Marcus here?" "No, he's at work. What's this about?" "Someone tampered with my heart monitor at the reunion. I nearly died." Vivian's hand fluttered to her throat. "That's terrible. But surely you don't think..." "Can we come in?" Uncle Robert interrupted. "This isn't a conversation for the front porch." Once inside, Vivian's nervous energy became more pronounced. She paced her immaculate living room. "Marcus would never hurt you," she insisted. "He's family." "Family who stands to gain if I'm out of the picture," I countered. "That's ridiculous. Marcus doesn't even know about the will." The room went silent as Vivian realized her mistake. "I never mentioned a will," I said quietly. Vivian sank into her armchair. "He's my son, Adeline. He made a mistake." "A mistake?" Uncle Robert's voice boomed. "He nearly killed her." "He didn't mean for it to go that far. He just wanted to scare you," Vivian pleaded. "To make you look weak in front of Grandma. He didn't know your condition was so serious." "Liar," Emma hissed. "I personally heard him ask Adeline about her monitor and medication details." Vivian's face hardened suddenly. "You can't prove anything. It was an accident. Equipment fails all the time." "Actually," Robert interjected, "the security cameras at Dorothy's house might say otherwise." Vivian's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, then back at us with panic in her eyes. "I think you all should leave now." "Marcus is on his way, isn't he?" I asked, standing my ground. "Good. I have some things to say to him, too." The front door slammed open as Marcus stormed in. "Mom, why are they here?" His eyes landed on me, widening slightly. "Adeline, shouldn't you be in the hospital?" "Shouldn't you be in jail?" I countered. "What are you talking about?" His laugh sounded hollow. "I heard you had some kind of episode at the reunion. I'm glad you're okay." Uncle Robert stepped forward. "Cut the act, Marcus. We know what you did to her monitor." Marcus's face darkened. "You don't know anything, and you can't prove anything either." "Your mother already confirmed it," Emma said. Marcus whirled on Vivian. "Mom, what did you tell them?" "Nothing. They twisted my words." Vivian stood, wringing her hands. "Marcus was only trying to make a point, that's all." "A point?" I felt my anger rising. "I could have died." "Don't be so dramatic," Marcus sneered. You're always playing the victim with your condition. Half the family thinks you're exaggerating for attention anyway. Marcus! Vivian gasped. It's true! He was shouting now. Little Adeline, everyone's favorite. Grandma's precious angel who gets everything handed to her while the rest of us actually work for what we have. I stepped closer to him. Is that what this is about? You think I haven't worked for anything? I fought every day of my life just to stay alive. And now you're taking my house, he spat. The one thing Grandma promised me. She never promised you anything, I replied evenly. And after what you did, you're lucky if she doesn't cut you out entirely. Marcus lunged forward suddenly, grabbing my arm. You listen to me, you entitled little... Uncle Robert yanked him back. Touch her again and you'll regret it. Are you threatening me? Marcus laughed wildly. In my own mother's house? No, he's not, came a new voice from the doorway. Detective Simmons stood there, notepad in hand. But I am placing you under arrest for assault and attempted murder. Marcus's face drained of color. This is ridiculous. You can't... We have the security footage, Detective Simmons continued calmly. Shows you deliberately tampering with medical equipment after asking detailed questions about Miss Wilson's condition. That's premeditation in my book. It was a prank! Marcus looked desperately at his mother. Mom, tell them! Vivian looked away. Marcus, maybe you should just... Shut up! He screamed, before lunging at me again. This is all your fault! You've ruined everything! This time, his hands found my throat. The room erupted into chaos as Robert and the detective pulled him off. Emma rushed to my side as I gasped for breath. You're dead! Marcus shouted as Detective Simmons handcuffed him. You hear me? This isn't over! I know people who can finish what I started! As they dragged him out, Vivian collapsed onto the sofa, sobbing. Please, Adeline. He's my only son. He didn't mean it. I rubbed my throat, my voice hoarse. Save it, Aunt Vivian. You knew what he was planning, and you did nothing. That makes you an accomplice. I'll testify, Vivian pleaded. I'll tell them everything if you'll just ask for leniency. After what he just did? Emma exclaimed. Are you insane? I stared at my aunt, this woman who had held me as a baby, who had once brought soup when I was sick. You have until tomorrow to decide whose side you're really on. The courtroom was quieter than I expected. 6 months had passed since the family reunion incident. 6 months of depositions, evidence gathering, and family members choosing sides. All rise, called the bailiff as the judge entered. Marcus sat at the defendant's table, wearing a suit that hung loosely on his frame. Jail hadn't agreed with him. Beside him, his lawyer shuffled papers nervously. How are you holding up? Emma whispered from beside me. Better than him, I replied, nodding toward Marcus, who hadn't met my eyes once. The sentencing was swift. With Vivian's testimony about his financial motives and the security footage showing him tampering with my equipment, plus his violent outburst at his mother's house, Marcus had little defense. The judge delivered a 10-year sentence for attempted murder and making terroristic threats. As they led him away, he finally looked at me. Adeline, please, he called out. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking straight. Please don't let them take me away. I stood and walked to the barrier separating us. You know what the worst part is, Marcus? I would have helped you if you'd just asked. If you'd been honest about your money troubles, I would have done anything I could. I know that now, he whispered, tears streaming down his face. I was stupid and jealous and... Please, can you tell them I'm sorry? That I've changed? I studied his face, searching for sincerity. No, Marcus, I won't do that. But we're family. Doesn't that count for anything? Family doesn't try to kill family, I replied coldly. Goodbye, Marcus. Outside the courthouse, Vivian waited on a bench. She looked older, frailer. Is it done? She asked quietly. 10 years, I confirmed. With possibility of parole after 7 for good behavior. She nodded slowly. I've sold my house. I'm moving to Florida to live with my sister. I think that's for the best. He asked me to give you this. She handed me a sealed envelope. His apology letter. He's been writing it for weeks. I took the envelope and, without opening it, tore it in half. Some things can't be forgiven, Aunt Vivian. She flinched but nodded. I understand. For what it's worth, I am truly sorry for my part in all this. Take care of yourself, I said, turning away. Uncle Robert was waiting by his car with Emma. Well? He asked. It's over, I told them. Grandma's coming for dinner tonight to celebrate. She wants to discuss setting up a foundation with part of the inheritance. Something to help people with heart conditions like mine. That sounds perfect, Emma smiled. What a way to turn something awful into something good. That's the thing about revenge, I mused as we drove away from the courthouse. The best kind isn't about making someone else suffer. It's about making sure they can never hurt you or anyone else again, while you go on to live your best life. Speaking of best lives, Uncle Robert grinned. Have you told Emma about your date with that detective? Emma gasped. Detective Simmons? You're dating him and didn't tell me? I laughed, feeling lighter than I had in months. It's just coffee. But yes, tomorrow afternoon. Look at you, getting justice and a potential boyfriend out of this nightmare, Emma teased. As we drove through the city, I watched the courthouse disappear in the side mirror. Marcus would have years to think about what he'd done, and I would have years to build something meaningful from what I'd almost lost. Do you think people would be interested in hearing this story? I asked suddenly. Maybe it could help someone else dealing with family betrayal. Are you kidding? Emma replied. Everyone loves a good revenge story, especially when justice is served. You should definitely share it. Then that's exactly what I'll do, I decided. Starting with the truth, that sometimes the people closest to you are the ones most capable of harm, but also that surviving their betrayal makes you stronger than they could ever imagine. What would you do if someone in your family betrayed you like Marcus betrayed me? Would you be able to show mercy? Or would you make sure they faced the full consequences of their actions? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one.